The markets as well as AMC stock came back from the grave today. AMC hit a low of $18.63 per share, closing at almost $20 per share. That was about a $1.50 round move from the bottom to where we did close. Now that level of 1863 that we hit earlier in the day, the low, that's going to be very important once we get into the technical analysis, and a big reason why I'm bullish heading into tomorrow and next week. There's a lot to get into. As you guys noticed, as I just said, the markets rallied. Why did the markets actually rally? Well, there was a consumer spending report that came out that said even though people have more debt now than they've had for a long time, a lot of people have debt right now, they're still spending money and they are still willing to spend money. So that's why the markets kind of started to get some gas to the upside. I think that's really good for AMC. And I think just in general, with the box office numbers that we are getting, I mean, look at Sonic the Hedgehog 2 posted 70 million in its first couple of days. It only cost 90 million to make this movie, and the movie premieres in 4,200 domestic theaters on Friday. So it's already doing better than the last two movies that did come out, and this was not expected to be a very popular movie. So obviously, people are going to spend money to do things, to go to AMC theaters. That's clear. And once investors really start to figure that out, keep in mind, Wall Street can be pretty damn slow to things sometimes. I think AMC stock on a fundamental level will need to be valued a little bit higher. After all, AMC is going to have a record year in my personal opinion, and likely to have record profits, as AMC has been forced to shut down most of its money losing location. So we got a lot to talk about. That is only to scratch the surface. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys learned anything out of this video. As well as that, make sure to get your free stocks with Webull, Moomoo, and Public if you want to support the channel, and if you guys want to come trade with us live in real time. I send out my alerts. Never a recommendation, but it does help to get a clear thought process on what's going on in the markets in real time, potentially how you can profit from it, whether you are not experienced at all, know nothing about options, or you do trade options on a regular basis. That is a great tool to have for a very, very inexpensive cost. Now, let's get into exactly what is going on for AMC. And I first off want to start with the technicals here in this video. We usually don't start with the technicals, but I'm very excited with what I am seeing. So we hit that low of 1863. Very, very important. 1850 was our previous resistance level for a very long time, and then it turned into $21. Well, that's basically where the 50-day moving average is. 50-day moving average at $18.20 per share. And this is what I love to watch, is the 50-day moving average on the daily, 4-hour, on the 1-minute chart, because you can see a lot of, what is happening with the stock, what's going on with the price action off the 50-day moving average. For an example, for today on the S&P, if you just followed the 50-day moving average, you did pretty damn well, right? You hit it right here, bounced off, hit it right here, bounced off, right here, bounced off, and then ultimately bounced off right here, and then once it broke under, you seen a big candle down, right? So same thing on AMC stock. On the daily candlestick chart or on the 1-minute candlestick chart, these moving averages are very important because, as you guys already do know, about 70% or more of all trading activity is done with trading algorithms. And unless there is a reason to continue to sell off a stock when it hits key support levels like this 50-day moving average, it doesn't tend to happen. There needs to be some reason to drive the stock under that. If you don't have that reason, you tend to bounce. And in AMC's case, it's going to be very volatile. And when that bounce does come to the upside, likely tomorrow, in my personal opinion, you will see a big move to the upside. It's going to be very, very volatile. And I am looking to buy some options on AMC. I actually did not strike on them. I probably should have, because they would have been up a lot. But this is not the time to be buying puts. I know people have been talking about that. In my personal opinion, not the time to buy puts. It potentially is the time to buy calls if you're playing that bounce. Stock has went up, great. Stock has came down, great. it's only come down. So you're going to see a bounce. It's not going to go straight back down to $12, $13 per share. It's not going to happen. If that happens, the markets are going to fall through the floor. And the S&P was up 0.5% today, down a little bit here in after hours, but nonetheless, a solid day. Now, you're still seeing overall in the markets digestion from the Fed, and that's a very tricky thing because you don't know how long it takes or, who's going to feel what certain kind of way that controls how much money about what the Fed says. For an example, if BlackRock or one of these firms that has trillions of dollars says, hey, these Fed minutes were really, really bad, we want to reduce some exposure here. If those handful, call it 5 or 10 large players, are like, yeah, we don't like that, we want to reduce our exposure, we want to sell out of some things, you're going to drive the markets down. If they're like, it's not so bad, the markets will probably go up. That's in the simplest form, the simplest way to describe it, but you never know how long it takes for them to fully digest exactly what is said. So tomorrow is still going to be another digestion day over the weekend, and then coming on Monday, I think you'll get that clear trajectory on, are we going to rally from here? Are we going to fall from here? And one thing that I do want to point out, and is really a big reason why I think we're going to see a bounce here soon. And I've been pretty bearish on the markets. We have come down a bit, but it comes down to the yield curve, right? We've talked about this before. The yield curve went negative, and I don't believe I have the yield curve tab up right now. It's not inverted anymore, but it was inverted. So when that happens, it's telling you, hey, we're going to see a recession in the next 1 to 2 years, but the average return is 25% between yield curve inversion until you get recession. That recession likely in the first half of 2023. That's at least what I would imagine, right? So when you look at it like that, do you want to sell out before a 25% gain? Or even in 2019 when the yield curve inverted in August, you still had an 18% return from August until February, the peak of the market before COVID hit. Only about 5 months, you returned 18%. Not bad at all. So this is kind of like reaffirmation. We're kind of in a bubble, for lack of a better words. You don't really want to sell out until you're at the top. That's what the markets try to do, right? So I do think you will get a positive digestion of this overall. I don't expect new all-time highs, and I think it's going to be really a year of stock pickers, and AMC is in prime position to benefit from that. Their business finally opened 100%, and movies are going to start rolling out and going into theaters. Some big hits coming really in the next couple of months throughout the rest of the year. So like Adam Aaron said, first quarter is not going to be a pretty one, but after that, we're going to be back on trajectory for good numbers, and the markets are already expecting that. So we'll see exactly what happens with that. We will see if we get a bounce tomorrow. We did see a little bit of a bounce today, but, unless we get some kind of bad news we already have not heard about or not priced in, I don't expect to see a big down day tomorrow. Then again, I could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor. We are right more than we are wrong, but we are wrong sometimes. So don't base any trades off of what I do say. Now, let's get into some of this other information. And I do also want to remind you guys of this. With AMC stock, it kind of showed us today and yesterday how explosive the stock can be when you even do get those bullish waves that come through. We'll just call it that. Not days where the stock just rips up 20%, but on days where the stock's down and you do start to see those moves back up, they're very, very aggressive, right? And I think that's obviously for good reason. I don't think AMC should have fallen this hard, this fast. It probably shouldn't have rallied that hard that fast either, but you have catalysts right around the corner. Like, remember, AMC's Aaron looks toward more distressed deals after goldmine investment. AMC Entertainment is about to go on a spending spree, and this is more than likely going to be seen as positive things when AMC does take new stakes in these businesses, because it diversifies their portfolio, makes them a little bit more resistant to a bad movie season, right? If AMC's not really dictated on the business itself, it's really around movies and who wants to go see what movies. Pretty self-explanatory here, but if you can become somewhat of a holding company of sorts, that's going to be seen as a positive thing. And the next time we do get a deal that comes out, would not surprise me if it's here in the next week or two, then that's probably going to be seen as a bullish catalyst. If you sell off on that, total manipulation there. Total manipulation. So it's possible, but I do think that's a pretty big reason for myself to be looking at some of those options, considering the potential catalyst that is coming here shortly. So it's really only a matter of time when it comes down to it. The max pain, though, $21 per share by the end of the day tomorrow. We're sitting, $19 and some change. So it is possible that would be a big move to the upside. I wouldn't hold my hat on it. I wouldn't YOLO any daily options off of that, but more times than not, we do end around that max pain price. So if we can get above 20, that's going to be looking solid heading into the weekend, especially if we get above 21. Oh yeah, there's a lot to cheer about if that's the case tomorrow. Again, we will see. Now, as far as the Ortex data, you're looking at 20.94% short interest of free float, 107.94 million shares that are sold short. Let's go ahead and refresh this in case anything did change. Nope, it all looks the same. Cost to borrow max of 2.94%. Borrow change of about 476,000 shares that were actually sold short today. The utilization of 100% and the days to cover at 2.45. So the situation here getting more bullish by the day. You guys have already heard my spiel on that. The longer this goes, the more bullish I ultimately do become. Now, the option activity for the day. This is the first day that you actually seen a more negative option flow on AMC stock than positive. But you are getting a lot of large orders that are coming through. I do want to remind you guys of this, right? Look at these 1950 calls for tomorrow, $16 calls for tomorrow, $34,000, $343,000 option trade that expires tomorrow for a $16 call. They paid $3.43 for these, so that's a break even of about $19.43 per share. So where are we at right now on AMC stock more specifically? Yeah, they might be a little bit profitable on that, but not by all too much. And then you do have an April 14th $16 call, spending $361,000 on that one. Tomorrow a $21 call, spending $25,000. So people are implying a pretty big move tomorrow, as well as another $21 call position for $46,000. So a lot of option activity. It wouldn't surprise me if we get some kind of catalyst here in after hours or tomorrow when you see that kind of concentrated buying power heading into short-term options like $343,000 in one trade over well over $500,000 expiring tomorrow, coming in the last half an hour of trading in a day on AMC. You got to pay attention to that. And I think that does show something. A lot of these guys, they know what's going to happen before we do. A lot of these, Highcroft Catalyst or Ryan Cohen buying GameStop, these guys knew about that beforehand. They made fat money on that. You got to know that. So looking pretty good. I would bet, if I had to put my money on it, we're going to see a positive day tomorrow. And what it looks like is it's going to be substantially positive. As far as data tomorrow, we only have the basically like commodity report, WASDE report, and a couple smaller data points, nothing that will move the markets at all. Wholesale inventories, stuff like that, but no Fed speakers, nothing too crazy as far as that is concerned. It's going to mainly be about what the Fed said during the Fed minutes, as well as if we get any new headlines that do come out. As far as the 0.5% rate hike, let's go ahead and reload this. It was sitting at 80.5% chance for the next two meetings. I imagine it's about that, but if it comes down a little bit, that's going to be good. We'll see if it loads here in the next couple of seconds. It doesn't look like it, but it's probably relatively the same at about 18 or 80.5% chance of getting that 0.5% rate hike. So you're seeing these probabilities going up. The markets are really disregarding it. The balance sheet situation that we got from the minutes yesterday was not good, but it was certainly not as bad as it could have been. And that's what the markets like to do. If it's not as bad as it could have been, it's bullish. Almost every single time, it will be a bullish reaction. So keep that in mind. You guys will make a lot of money in your trading lifetimes just knowing that simple thing. Now, as far as AMC is concerned, to be more specific, like I said, that level at 1820 going to be very important. If we can break out above 21 and close above 21 tomorrow, that's going to be a huge sign, a huge step in the right direction to get another bullish rally. And I think you're going to see that those premiums juice up a lot on AMC stock if we do break out of these key levels, just like they do on anything else, right? The SPY broke out above 450 today. The premiums went crazy. Once you break out of key levels, it can be really good, and that's where money is ultimately made. And $21 is definitely a key level for AMC stock. Now, if somehow we get above $23.19 per share tomorrow, that's going to be really the best case scenario. My price prediction was in between 26 and 30 by the end of the week, but it doesn't look like that is going to happen. I did not forecast a straight move down in AMC stock. Like, dude, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, who could have even forecast that? 4% down today, including after hours. You had 4% yesterday, 9% day after that, a flat day, 5% down, 4% down, 12% down, and another flat day. So we have not seen a green day over like 0.3% in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days. So this is one of AMC's longer losing streaks. So, you know, if we get above 23, huge win. Get above 21, that's going to be a win either way it does go. As far as the MACD, that is bearish. Like I said in the last video, you actually did see a slight increase to volume today. You did have 53 million shares that traded hands. Yesterday, you had 52 million shares that traded hands. So that's good. If we can get a higher volume day tomorrow, that's where you're going to get a lot of that momentum. And as far as the RSI, that is at 48.13. So a little bit on the oversold side. Definitely have a lot of room to make that next leg up before we even get close to going close to overbought. So that is pretty much going to be all for this video. Not too much else to actually add. You do got some coal embargo news, some Russia sanction news, but that's not really moving the markets, as well as Ketanji Brown was nominated for the first black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. So looking pretty good. You know, nothing too crazy to point out there, but smooth sailing ahead. Hopefully we see that rally tomorrow. Hopefully the institutional investors that are buying these options are giving us a glimpse into what is going to happen. So that is going to be all for this video. If you guys found value out of it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to come join the conversation on the live stream, almost every single night besides Friday and Saturday, come check it out, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ask all the questions you want, go over trades, go over ideas, go over strategies, news, everything, futures. We do it all on that live stream. Would love to have you. And if you guys want to come trade with us as well, link down below in the pinned comment for the trading community. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.